The Rich Man and the Poor Man. In a village surrounded by tall palm trees and a mighty river, there lived two men who could not have been more different. One was Kofi, the rich man, whose house sparkled with golden doors, and whose land stretched farther than the eye could see. The other was Kwame, the poor man, who lived in a tiny hut with only a small farm and a single goat. But while Kofi had riches, he had no kindness in his heart. Kwame, though poor, was loved by all because of his generous spirit. One day, the king sent a message across the land. There would be a grand feast in the palace, and every villager must bring a pot of soup to share. The feast was a celebration of unity, and each person was expected to contribute so that no one would go hungry. Kofi sat in his grand house and thought, "I have given enough to this village. Others should provide the food. I will only bring a pot of water and pretend it is soup." So he filled a pot with water, covered it, and took it to the palace. Meanwhile, Kwame, even though he had little, carefully gathered the best ingredients he could find. He picked fresh yams, dried fish, and his last pinch of special spices. He cooked a rich, flavorful soup and carried it joyfully to the palace. At the feast, all the villagers poured their soups into a giant communal pot. Soon, the entire palace was filled with the mouth-watering aroma of different flavors blending together. The king was served first, but when he tasted the soup, his face changed. It was thin and tasteless. Confused, he ordered his guards to investigate. After questioning the villagers, it was discovered that many had poured only water, thinking others would provide the flavor. Kofi was among them. The king stood and spoke loudly, "Those who have much but give nothing shall leave with empty hands. Those who give from their hearts, even when they have little, will be rewarded." As punishment, Kofi was ordered to share his wealth with the village for an entire year. Meanwhile, Kwame was rewarded with a fertile piece of land by the king. With it, he grew plenty of food, not just for himself but for others as well. Over time, his kindness made him more respected and successful than Kofi ever was. From that day on, the villagers understood that true wealth is not in what you have but in what you give. Moral of the story: a selfish heart, no matter how rich, will always be poor, while a kind heart will always find abundance. Share your moral lesson too. Let's see in the comment section. Thank you.